That is our starter this morning. The Punch newspaper has, but it's actually an advertorial, but we will not go through the advertorial because it's not our business. But we'll just take the story there. Federal government defers 70% of capital projects to 2026. Governor stops new projects, imposes spending limits. That is the rider. Federal government defers 70% of 2025 capital projects to 2026. It's not too good for the years actually. The projects that you were supposed to do in the year ending, 75% of them have been pushed over to the new year. I just hope that will not also affect the budget implication as far as the financial aspect of it is concerned. Okay, that's it for the Punch newspaper. We're not going through the advertorial because it's not our concern. Our next paper is the New Telegraph. The New Telegraph is our next point of call this morning, and the New Telegraph. Can we have the full size of it? The full size of it, Philip. Can we have it fully extended? Insecurity. U.S., Nigeria agree to dismantle terrorist network, address targeted killings. That is the screaming headline there, saying insecurity, U.S., Nigeria agree to dismantle terrorist networks, address targeted killings. Okay, below those pictures, pick Wike's Caretaker Committee, contempt of court, says PDP. That is below the photo speak there. And going through what we have above the masthead, recapitalization spurs strong quarter 3 25 gains in banking stocks. That it's above the masthead, and from that we can also see a major storyline there, a major story by the box commentaries now. Nigeria's foreign reserves hit 6-year high point at 45.04 billion dollars. Federal government unveils 50 million equity-free grants for tertiary students. Nigeria West Central African Airlines implements free route airspace to save fuel and reduce emission. While the last story, the court refuses Nnamdi Kanu's application for transfer from Sokoto prison. All right, these are what we have as far as the Telegraph is concerned. We'll take our next storyline from the Nigerian Tribune. The Nigerian Tribune is our next port of call. And the Nigerian Tribune has, above the masthead, court bars AMCON appointed lawyer from representing GRI over disobedience of court order. That is it. And the same, another story, Turaki-led PDP governors, others hold marathon meetings amid convention plans by Winke's camp. That's on the flush above the masthead. We also have the story, 2.4 billion US dollars, Euro bond, oil receipts, remittances drive Nigeria's 7.5 billion dollars reserves. That's from the research. Okay? Also have gunmen, murder pastor's wife, race house vehicles in Anambra Church. We also have the story on the flush right. Rep squeeze neck over 109 moribund licenses. Accuses Disco of unethical practices. Okay, from the Nigerian Tribune, we have this very last story. U.S. Congressman Moore says security talks with Nigeria productive. All right, let's see how all of that begin to play out, because Nigeria needs help. Nigeria needs help. Away from the Tribune, we'll go straight to the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian newspaper is our next point of call. And the Guardian has a screaming headline here as well as an editorial. How Nigeria's intervention secured key trade routes and regional chains. That's a major story there. And we have above the earpiece, or rather below the masthead, Reps issues NNPCL boss December 15 appearance deadline. PDP faces growing 227 uncertainty as functional disputes escalate. That is it there. And the Arewa hinges Tinubu's 2027 fate on economy security scorecard. That's it for that paper. And we'll move over to the next paper for review, which is the Nation newspaper. The Nation newspaper, it's our next port of call this morning. And the Nation has students to access federal government's 50 million naira innovation grant. More Nigerians fighter jets, troops into Benin Republic. Nigeria-US moving in right directions, says Representative Really More. Below the masthead, Tinubu bring back all abductees. Tinubu bring back all abductees. That is a clarion call there. And that's it majorly. Our next is the Daily Trust. Our next paper to check on now is the Daily Trust. And the Daily Trust has on the very melancholic news. Genocide. U.S. lawmakers visit Benue State. Troops kill bandits. Rescue women in Sokoto State. 17 agencies scored 0 in efficiency testing. That is the report there. And on a very sad note, 7 women protesters killed in Adamawa State. It's a very pathetic thing to hear. 7 of them women protesters. Okay? We also have EFCC seals Sylvia's residence. Below that, by way of bottom strip, our ordeal in the bush rescued Niger students. All right. I think that's it this morning. That's it this morning for what the various papers are saying. And we passionately appeal that you pick up a copy and perish through. But for me, my lead story for the day has to do with the 7 women that were killed in Adamawa State. They were harmless. They were harmless. And they only came to protest, peaceful protest. And at the end of the day, 7 of them killed, tons injured, and nobody is actually nobody's taking ownership or saying, yes, we did this. But I know, obviously, it was not the spirit that came and shot at those women. And I also know that it was not the handiwork of the bandit or terrorists, as the case may be, that also did that. The people who perpetrated that crime had all it took. They had everything at their disposal to take the lives of 7 women. Well, it's on a sad note, though. It's on a sad note. I actually weep for this country. People who are supposed to protect are the ones that perpetrate. Are the 7 women bandits? Are they? Why should it happen to them? 7 of them killed like that, just gone like a candle in the wind. May God help us in this country. And this is where we end our discussion on the papers today. We'll take yet another break on the ride. And I'm sure when we come back, we'll be looking at our guest, Kana. Then go away. Tuesdays